Hey everybody, it's Holly Dance, and I want to tell you about tonight. I went to a really awesome event, a live event with Setema Gali. He is an amazing coach and mentor and speaker, and I wanted to share with you what it was like, what I learned, and what he talked about and how it was, because I know a lot of you probably saw that event or know of him. Seems like everyone I talk to knows who he is. So if you know him, then you can just get a little snapshot of what the night was about, and you can feel like you were there. So first of all, his energy is incredible. He's up on the stage, he's stomping, he's fist in the air. It's just contagious. All of my notes are like written really, really like sharp and exclamation marks and underlines because it just felt so incredible. He has a way of just pulling this energy and excitement out of you. I loved that. He talked about not one day, someday. There's a difference. I loved that. He says he's been there. He's paid the price. Whatever you go through, you've got to pay the price. You've got to decide what it is you want to do, who you want to be, and pay the price to get there. Move a mountain with a shovel if you have to. If the shovel breaks, start digging, but decide to give in and go for it. Let's see. He talked about the path, and he said the path is 6 steps. Number 1, you've got to create yourself powerfully. That is by having a new story, creating a new story of who you are, who you want to be, and what you're capable of. Get rid of this old junk of, well, I'm this, or I can't be the kind of person I want because of X, Y, and Z. Tell the truth about what it is that you want. I loved that he said, you know what, I want to drive a Mercedes-Benz because I want to drive one. They're fast and I like them. I like how I look in it. And he didn't have to have this big explanation of why he wanted a nice car, but he just told the truth. I want to drive this kind of car. I want to have this kind of a marriage, and I want to live this kind of life. And it is very easy for us, I think, to just say, well, I'm not going to go for it, or I shouldn't want this. I should just be grateful. But create yourself powerfully. Create who you want to be. And the next step is declare. Say who it is you want to do. He said, declare what you want and why. Figuring out the why is going to be so important into knowing what you want. That's great, you want this, but why do you want it? What's the driving force behind it? Is it your kids, your family, your image, he didn't say image, but I'm imagining that, like your reputation, the kind of person you want to be. Why do you want to be that person? So you can give back, so you can serve. What is it? And once you figure out that why, it's so much more powerful that you will declare that every single day. What do you want? Figure out what it is and get that why, and you will move ahead. It says your why is your holy calling. I liked that. I wrote that down because I feel like there's a lot of whys, but I've said this before, I feel whatever goal we have that goal and we have that desire because we were created to become that and do that. So if you have a really strong desire to want something, then you need to go for it because that's your holy calling. The third step is define the necessary required actions. He calls them NRAs, necessary required actions. If you want something really big, figure out what steps it takes to get there and define those and do them. To get what you want. I love that. He just says, do the NRAs, define what the NRAs are and do them, go for them. I know for me, I am really good at creating what I want, to saying it, and then saying, oh, here's some action steps, but actually taking them one by one and performing those action steps. So I don't have a lot written down for that one, but it's all underlined in exclamation mark. He just really went over that necessary required action. Figure out what it is, take that action. The last one of these other quotes he says I really like. He said, knowing is useless unless you live it. I agree with that. I tell my clients that for sure. Knowledge is great and it's fun, but action is what gets stuff done. Ooh, that just rhymed. I like that one. Number 4 that Setema Gali talks about is decide. Am I willing to do what's required? You might have this big goal and define these necessary required actions and look at all those actions and say, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to put that amount of work in for this goal. Maybe I don't care that much. And then you need to start over because you're not going to get what you create. Decide. Number 4, decide. Am I willing to do what's required? And number 5 is commit. Do what is required. Are you committing to what you said you're going to do? And this really hit for me because he said we over promise and then we say, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll get that done. Yeah, I'll get that done. And then we don't get anything done. And then the universe is up there saying, oh yeah, that's cute. You said you're going to do something and you never do it. Whereas if you commit and if you honor your word and do what you say you're going to do, then when you say something, the universe knows it's happening and they move heaven and earth to line it up for you. I can be better about that. I make promises to my kids that, oh, we'll go get ice cream. We'll do this, or in bribery. And they'll call me on it. They'll say, Mom, you promised this. You said I could have a friend over today. And I say, I know, but the date and this and that. And I make excuses more than really paying attention to honoring my word. I'm going to do that. Taking decisive action. Oh, this is a good one. I love that Setema talked about this. Taking decisive action in spite of our thoughts, feelings, emotions, and moods. That's all my excuses right there. Thoughts, feelings, emotions, and moods. And I think all of you can relate to that too. That I say, oh, I'm going to wake up early and run. And then my alarm goes off and I'm like, oh, I don't really feel like it. And if I don't feel like it, I shouldn't do it. Snooze. So making that commitment and that decision that I'm going to do this regardless of how I feel about it, that's going to change a lot of things for me. I love that he said that. And what is the commitment you're avoiding? What things do you know that if you took this, if you made this commitment, it would change things for you? And he was so good about just being up on stage, and he'd play music and he'd have you talk to people and just really pump you up and get you in that space that you thought, I know what I need to do and I'm going to do it. And right now, the way I'm feeling, nothing's going to change that. So I need to tap more into that feeling of nothing's going to change that. My alarm goes off, I will wake up because I committed to it regardless of my thoughts, feelings, emotions, and moods. It's happening. Complete. Oh yeah, okay, number 6. So that was commit. And then number 6 is complete. Stop stopping. And again, with a lot of my goals, it's so easy for us to have these ideas and these dreams and, okay, I'm moving forward, I'm doing this stuff, but something comes up or it gets hard or we get busy with Christmas or the holidays and all these things that we need to stop stopping. Keep going forward. You made that commitment, complete, finish, go for it. I loved hearing that. It's a good reminder for all of us to keep going. And again, his energy and his vibe, you just want to do it. It was really great. Most people live in scarcity. They put limits on their lives and we don't need to do that. Then we had a break. And then the last part, he talked about leadership. Leaders lead. Leaders don't just tell people what to do. Leaders do it. Dave and I always joke, we say, don't talk about it, be about it. And one of his guys up there shared a story about his life and said, that's what he does. He doesn't talk about it. He said, don't talk about it, be about it. And Dave and I are like, yeah, that's right. Go for it. This was really powerful. I think he talked about agreements, not expectations. Problems come from having expectations on people. I expect my husband to do this. I expect my kids to do this and this, but they're not really in on that expectation. Expectations are really one-sided. This is the way I feel about everything other people should be doing. And agreements are two-sided, where you say, I will do this and this, or this is what I want from you, and this is what I will do because of it. How did he word that? Whatever I tell you, you can count on it. What have you been tolerating that doesn't work for you? So we're unwilling to confront people. We're unwilling to say, I don't like this is happening. This is what I want to happen. And how can we make a new agreement? We just see what people are doing and we play this story of like, that's not what I like. Don't they know that's not what I like? I want this and this, and they're not doing it. So when we confront someone and say, hey, I want us to have a great relationship. I want things to work. I want us both to be happy. This is what I want. What do you want? And you make a new agreement. Then that makes you a leader because you have people on both sides knowing what's happening, not what's expected, but really what their part is. And when they don't do their part, they know that you're not happy and they know what's going to happen, or they know what they don't get for it. He talked about this with his kids, and I love how he said they know, they come home and he gives them a half hour, just chill out, do whatever you need to do, and then it's time for your chores. If you do your chores, then you get to do what you want now. You get, what did he say? Hold on, I'll find it. Do what you're supposed to do so that we can do what we want. And he says he does that part. Do what you're supposed to do, and then the boys say, so we can do what we want. I think my kids would really thrive in that setting where this is what you're supposed to do, and when we do this, this happens. And we have an agreement, right? So if you don't do this, this doesn't happen, and everybody knows. I liked that a lot, talking about leaders have integrity, and you can't overcommit. As in, you shouldn't be overcommitting. I do this where I say, yeah, I'll do that. I'd love to do that. That I want to take on a lot of things, but then I drop the ball in certain places rather than just saying no. He says, you say, I say no. If someone says, hey, this is coming up, I got this opportunity. Nope. And people, oh, what? No, people don't say no. People just always say yes and then don't do it. But he says no. And I needed to hear that because I need to say no a little bit more often and really focus on the things that I've already committed to before I add more things to it. Loved it. I'm going to be my word. He really focused on your word. If you break an agreement, you let someone know as soon as possible when you know that isn't going to work out. Hey, I can't make this happen. This is what I can do. Does that work for you? And by saying that, does it work for you? You're still keeping them in the agreement. You're making a new agreement, and you're using it instead of like, sorry, that's not going to work. See ya. You're really dropping the ball, and they don't have a say in it. I loved that. Powerful people hit singles and get on base. He had this big analogy about baseball and just hit a single every day. Sometimes we go out and want to hit these big home runs, and then we don't, and then we quit instead of just taking a little action every day. Before you know it, bases are loaded, and we're hitting run after run, and then we have those home runs, and we get, what is it? I'm not sports. We get 4 runs. Anyway, he was so much fun. Check him out if you have the opportunity. He's got awesome Facebook posts, and he's motivating, and he's just a great guy. He's a great husband, a good family man. He calls himself the 5-star dad. I really value that. I really liked him. I loved hearing from him. Get to his stuff. Pay attention to him, and your life will be better, and your family's life will be better if you implement these tools that he taught. See ya.